And the federal government will shut down at the end of the month unless a funding bill is passed. Lo and behold, here we are at the end of the August recess. We're talking about this again. As you know, Republican hardliners are signaling that they're going to dig in their heels unless their demands are met. We were just talking to Melanie Zanona about this a few moments ago. Several of these items sound like just complete non-starters for Democrats. Are you confident a deal can be reached to avoid a shutdown?
I'm hopeful if they are reasonable at all and talk about actual issues of finance, but to demand that we defund Ukraine and the aid to Ukraine. I mean, I was on a Codel with Republicans who would not support that position. Many Republicans in the House believe that we need to stand with Ukraine, or to demand that they launch impeachment inquiries. This has nothing to do with providing Americans with the child care, with the food assistance, with the Social Security that they need. So the question for Kevin McCarthy is he going to be a reasonable negotiator, or is he going to cave to the extreme right wing of his party?
And House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says Republicans could soon vote on a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden, something obviously the former president has pressed Republicans to do on Truth Social. What do you make of this? Is this a serious threat? Are we going to be talking about impeachment here in the coming months? What's going on?
Unfortunately, I think it is a serious threat from the extremes, but this is not what the American people want. This is not what Republicans or Democrats in my constituency are asking for, and there is no evidence to justify it. So I think what people want is to solve their issues: child care, the fact that the rents cost too much, the fact that wages haven't kept up with the cost of living. That's what they want us to do in Congress, and I think it would be a political mistake for the speaker to go down that road.
And Trump's trial in the federal election subversion case brought by the special counsel Jack Smith, that's scheduled to go to trial and begin March 4th, the day before the all-important Super Tuesday primary. You recently suggested that the dates for these trials could potentially impede Trump's ability to have a, quote, fair fight in this race. Can you explain that? Why do you think that March date stands out for you?
Well, I support the judge's decision on the March date. I said that the judge would take all the factors into consideration, and ultimately it's not for members of Congress, Democrats or Republicans, to be talking about that. It's for the judge to make that decision. I wish we would just have members of Congress say, look, we defer to the judicial system, and I have confidence in the judge to take all the factors into account and make a fair decision, which I think the judge has.
But do you think that's going to be a problem? It sounds like you indicated in an earlier interview that you thought that was going to be a problem if this was scheduled right around Super Tuesday. Doesn't the trial have to happen at some point? It can't be pushed back until after next year's general election, can it?
I agree with that, Judge. And all I was saying in the interview is that the judge will take all the factors into consideration and make a determination. And she has, and I support the judge's decision. And I believe that we should, as Americans, support the judge's decision while weighing all the equities. I think the judge has made the correct decision here.
All right, Congressman Khanna, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.